Hi everyone, thank you for stopping by my channel, Lose Life Pearls, where I just talk about my life revelations. I promised authenticity, so I've got my little sweet 5-month-old boy jumping around in his jumperoo around the corner, so you'll probably hear him hopping around, and he might add in his little 2 cents every now and then too. And son, if you're watching this in the future, you might get to hear what you sounded like when you were 5 months old. Like, there you are. So mommy is doing this for you so you can see this when you grow up. So today, my third pearl that I want to talk about is just when you do what's best for you, everybody wins. So yesterday, my pearl, I talked about priorities, and I touched on how important it is to keep ourselves a priority, just because, you know, everything in life stems from ourself and our well-being. Being a whole person, you know, that's gonna affect your actions and just how you are in life, and just everything comes with how you feel about yourself as a person. So it's important to take care of yourself, especially if you care about the relationships around you. So what I want to reflect on is just kind of the mental rewiring that I've done in the past few months. I've done some other more physical things too, is just things in terms of, like, you know, things I'm putting in my body, things I'm doing for exercise, things like that. But today I want to focus on just my mental rewiring that I've done. So one of the biggest things is I kind of have certain mantras that I use now. I never really knew what a mantra was before. This is still something kind of new to me, and honestly the only way I ever heard of what a mantra even is was when I was pregnant with my son, because I was looking into and researching what I should be expecting when I went to deliver. And a lot of things I was reading was things on how to mentally get through labor. So there were some mantras I learned in order to do that. And then I realized, wow, there are so many other mantras that we can have all the time just to get through life. And I found myself at a point in life where the way that I was thinking about things just wasn't right. It was kind of off. I realized that I was placing expectations on a lot of people in my life, kind of just all around. So when my expectations weren't being met, and again, these are like unsaid expectations that like literally no one knows I have. So when they weren't being met, I would just get snippy, or I would just, you know, react negatively from it. And so then, you know, there's just never anything positive that comes from that, because then everybody's frustrated and everybody can feel your energy, and you're just like a negative, irritated person all the time, and no one wants to be around that either. And I want to be somebody that's fun and, you know, somebody that everybody wants to be around and is attracted to be around, not somebody that everyone wants to stay away from because she's, you know, agitated all the time. So I realized I really needed to rewire the way I was thinking about things. But instead of having a mantra, at first I kind of would just try and brush things under the rug and try and just change how I felt about something, but I wasn't being honest with myself. It was more like I just didn't want to be a cranky person. So when I felt myself wanting to be cranky, I would just try and not be cranky. I'm not cranky. I'm fine. But that wasn't really handling. I wasn't getting down to the root of what was making me react that way in the first place. So, you know, this obviously wasn't like a consistent solution that was going to withstand the test of time. So anyways, ever since I started using this mantra, it has been so life-changing. And again, I'm a work in progress. I still, you know, am working on this, but I'd say probably, you know, 18 out of 20 times I use this mantra and it works. There's still a couple times that I go back to my old ways, but I'm working on it. So mantra is just, everyone is doing their best, and that's okay. Or everybody is doing the best with everybody is doing the best they can, the best that they know how, and that's okay. And this has literally been life-changing. Pretty much every situation, if somebody does something that maybe isn't the way that I would do it, or they say something that seemed misinformed to me, or they are dealing with something in life that is a struggle that maybe I just realized that I wanted to almost like rub off the things that I was learning in life onto people around me who were suffering, because I've felt so enlightened, instead of realizing that I literally can't control other people's happiness and everyone has to learn it on their own. But then it kind of, I'm so passionate about people that I love that when I see people unhappy and I can see the way that they could change their lives, but they're not doing it, I would get frustrated. And it just, whatever. Everybody has their own life. So also just accepting that ultimately I'm only in charge of me. And son, when you're watching this as you get older, mama's going to do everything that she can to give you the tools to be able to process these things on your own. But I know that I ultimately can't process them for you. I can only just explain to you the things that I'm learning and hope that you can get some wisdom from that. But I know that I can't give anyone perspective, and that's a big thing I've learned. I can't give insight, I can't give intuition, I can't give perspective. I can only do that for myself. So learning that people think differently from you and that that's okay is a huge, huge pearl. Just everyone thinks different, and that's okay. And everyone has their own struggles, and that's okay. So we all have our own things we struggle with in life, and we could sit here. Hear my little boy back behind the corner, and I just love his voice. He just like bumps me off my train of thought. Anyways, we could sit here and argue all day about who has it the toughest. I live in a very privileged country, and we all talk about the things that make life hard, but we could argue that there are definitely other places around the world that have it a lot harder. But it's okay to have your own problems in life. And once we're accepting of that, there's a lot of frustration that just like immediately goes away. Once you realize that everyone has their own life and their own things that they struggle with, it might not be things that you struggle with, but guess what? It's not your life. So with that being said, when you do what's best for you, everyone wins. So that also means that when you just do what's best for yourself and you look at your own life, you stop comparing your life to other people's, and it creates pure joy. So, comparison is the thief of joy. I heard that from somewhere, I don't remember where. So, whatever it is, you can compare material things like the car you drive, the house you have, or you can compare other things like relationships. It's so easy to compare how other moms are killing it out there, or how other relationships and how they seem to be, but realizing that all of those things in life are just perception, and perceptions aren't necessarily facts. And the only fact that we really know about in life is our own self and our own brain and how our own self is doing. Yeah, and so with that being said, son, as you watch this, as you're getting older, something that mom has learned that I'm going to try my best not to do with you. We'll see how it goes. Right now I'm young and you're a baby, and I have you at home and you're in my house, and I see you every day, and I say good morning and I put you to bed, and I'm in control of all these things. But I'm very well aware that as my son grows, our dynamic is going to change, and he is his own person, and he is going to decide what he wants to do with his life. And so really, I can't really paint that picture in my life of how things are going to look for me as a mom as my kids grow, because I don't know what they're going to do with their life, if they will live near mommy the rest of their life, or if they will move away, or if they'll travel all the time, or what that's going to look like. And I see so many people so unhappy in life because they did paint that picture and they thought things would be a certain way, but ultimately we can't control other people, and everybody has their own decisions that lead them down their own paths. And so ultimately just being happy with who we are and what our relationship is with each other and being okay with that, because the last thing that we want in life is to be disappointed when it's still a great life. I see so many people's happiness be robbed by their expectations in life just not being met. So learning that, again, what you do for you is what's best, because then everybody wins. So whatever my son decides to do in life, I just want him to know that I'm here and I'm mom no matter what. And, you know, he's going to have himself to worry about. And I just will continue to do what's best for me, because that's what's best for my family. And that's true happiness. We're living through this pandemic right now, and another big realization is just that nothing's permanent in life, and that so much can change. I mean, your health can change at any time. You can lose your spouse. You can lose your dear child. You can lose so many things in life, and realizing that we're not in control of any of it is actually a very liberating thing to realize, because then when changes do happen in life, we're good. Because you're able to learn to adapt to those changes by just being in touch with yourself. And so when the changes happen, it doesn't just knock you off of your rocker as much. So anyways, to wrap things up, do what's best for you in your life. When you do what's best for you, everybody wins. Everything is changing in life. We can't control anybody but ourselves and our own mindset. Perfect timing. That's the end of this video. I hope anybody along for the ride learned something or can agree, but okay. All right. Stay tuned for the next Life Pearl.